Good evening, and welcome back to the One Take Livecast. Tonight I will be joined by Cara Jackson, host of her show, which is The Smooth Selection, which you can find on Instagram and other platforms. And this is a host meet host episode. So, just waiting for her now. If she presses the plus button, and then I can accept her invitation, and here we go. Quest.
Evening.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. What about yourself?
Good. Thanks for coming on the show.
No, thanks for having me. I'm quite excited for tonight, not gonna lie.
I know. Like I said, the show has many people of many different areas. So within that, could you tell me what, for those who don't know out there, what is the Smooth Selection?
Okay, so the Smith selection, it started originally as the world's longest and most rubbish Spotify party playlist. It had every single song in the world, and I had to have the aux at every event I went to, much to my friends' chagrin, because there was things from sort of every genre, but if it came on, it came on, and you were just going to enjoy it. Then I started my PhD in October last year and decided like I need a creative output. I need something to do on the side that isn't just science all the time. So I looked at societies at my uni, and one was the Radio Society, and I decided I'm going to join, and what a better name than the Smooth Selection, and I'll just play everyone my random songs sort of the same way that I did with this big mega playlist. Then the website for the that I do my show on, sometimes it would go down for like long periods of time, and I would genuinely feel like I was itching to get back on the air and just to host and play my silly music. So then the Smooth Selection Instagram was born, where I do like music reviews, gig reviews, and it's just something I can do whenever I've got, free time.
Oh, cool. Can you talk about some of the most recent reviews you've done?
Yeah, I'm so prepared. I have a second screen so I can actually do this accurately instead of guessing what I did recently.
Oh, that's
So actually
pretty cool.
today, I'm actually doubly prepared. I thought about this. Um, I've came with some visuals to make this visually stimulating. So I
Mm.
also quite like, I was gonna say collecting records. I like to buy records. I'm not a collector. I don't
Oh,
care
I
if they're
love
physical.
records.
I just like buying records. So
Oh,
I
I
actually reviewed
I
this
have a
song
couple of
today.
records myself.
So this
Uh,
is God First by Mr. Jukes. Um, it's fantastic. I gave it a 5-star rating. I had heard one song on it from I think back in a like first or second year of uni. In the union, I'd heard this song called Grant Green. It's like the last one on side A, and I was so obsessed with it, but I just never listened to the rest of the album. So one time I was in a record shop with one of my friends, and I thought, right, I'm just gonna buy it, and I bought it, and I listened to the whole thing, and I'm pretty sure I drew up the review like right then and there. I just loved it so much.
mm. That's kind of cool. I mean, I'm also, like I said, I'm not a record collector, but I've got a few records I bought here and there and thing. And kindly enough, I'm actually doing this episode in the record room, so there's one I can show you as well. This is something my wife got me into. I'm kind of 30 years late to the music, and I recently saw him live last year. But this is Howard Jones' Human Lib. So if you can see like the real artwork here, of course, with Jones there and everything, and really good, of course, photograph on the back with all the tracks and everything. But it's a very, new wave record, primarily 18s, and many great songs there. One thing I quite like is the opening track, which is Conditioning, and the music video and the Top of the Pops video was quite funny back there because he would be singing and playing keyboard while there'd be a guy just randomly dancing with chains on anything, like he was a villain from Scooby Doo. but the opening to the track and everything, it's very really, very revolutionary, new wave 80s and everything. And I saw them last year in Newport, Wales, at a festival, and I thought, never heard of this guy before, and pretty good. So that's one there I definitely recommend if you're into new wave.
Well, something that I do when I review albums is I assign one song as my single song loop, and that's partially because I'm quite obsessive when I listen to music, and I'll tend to listen to one song until I'm absolutely sick of it. But on that album there, what would you say is your single song loop? Would you say it was the first one, or
What, the one I would be sick of?
no, just the one that you could listen to over and over and over again?
It would. Oh, on what, on this record or any record?
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll go for that one
oh,
first.
oh yeah. On Howard Jones' Human Lived, it would definitely be Conditioning, because not just lyrically but instrumentally, the sound and everything. It's not heavy, but it's not light. It's basic, with using a synthesizer and a keyboard as well. So I'd recommend Conditioning, and obviously the chorus is thing, and it would really work for clubs and dancing as well. So if I could listen to that over on that record, it would be Conditioning. What about for your one?
Well, I think for this one, yeah, so this one was actually quite surprising for me. So like I said, I'd heard about it because of the song Grant Green. So I just sort of assumed that that was going to be my single song loop. But the second song, which is called Angels slash Your Love, ended up just being, well, I would actually go back on the record and like physically go back and listen to it. And I thought, well, if I'm willing to actually get off my seat to listen to the song more than once, I think this one deserves it over Grant Green. So yeah, Angels slash Your Love is my favourite from that one.
That's really cool. So your show, when does it air on, and what website can people listen to it on?
This is a bit of an issue at the moment. It should be www.strathfusion.com, but the website has been down for like 2 months now. I'm usually on it Monday at 6 p.m. I'm hoping that when the website's back up, that will continue. But at the moment, no live show, and it's just whatever, I'm posting about at the moment.
And it must be fun, like putting your own show, putting your own music, but also reviewing stuff. It's quite nice to share your own platform and everything and give it your own voice.
It's good, and I think the number one thing to remember, like for me to remember, is just that it doesn't matter if anyone actually cares about like my reviews. Am I having fun when I make them? Am I having fun when I listen to the music, or when I sort of like draw up the pictures that go with the reviews? Like, yeah, for sure. So it does feel good having a platform, but it also doesn't really matter if anyone's tuning in. It's still fun, even if I'm just talking to a brick wall.
But is it nice, being a broadcaster?
Yeah, no, I enjoy it. I used to keep a diary when I did like the live shows, and I would write like the number, like the max number of listeners that I got to, and like just other sort of highlights throughout the show. And I think the max listeners I got to at any point was like 12, but 12 was so exciting. Like I was like, 12 people are listening to me right now. 12 people are listening to my music. Not my music, but just the music I'm forcing them to listen to right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of cool, sharing your own, like, sort of, whether it's new or classic or old, you're sharing, like, favorite music you like. It could be like you could be listening to Vivaldi, and then you could be listening to the Pet Shop Boys, and then you could be listening to Nirvana next. So that's kind of cool to share your own, like, thing. And whether it gets people who are trying to discover new music or music they probably not familiar with because it's from a different decade, it's great. But also probably people, whoever's listening in, is like, oh, I haven't heard this in ages as well.
No, that was kind of the goal of mine, was to just not really play any two songs one after another that went like too well together. Like just play. They don't. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we're playing this type of theme tonight. I would just do, or sometimes if I would give myself a theme, it would be a broad theme. Unless people sent in requests. I quite like doing requests too, because it made me feel like a proper radio DJ.
I'll remember to send one in when I get to listen to the show.
Definitely.
Mm. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, do you remember the first record you bought out of your own money when it happened?
Well, see, the first record I ever got was the self-titled album by Rammstein. That was like the first one that anyone ever gave me. It was
Mm.
my godparents gave me it with my record player. But the first one I ever bought was, I've entirely blanked on the name. It's like Repeat, Replay, Rewind, perhaps by Volbeat. It's 3 R words in a row.
Oh, I like that. I like Volbeat.
Yeah, the first one I ever bought myself was Volbeat.
Nice, nice. And records are nice as well. But do you also enjoy cassettes or CDs, or do you just pretty much keep it records for
Well,
the
I
nature?
I prefer records. I've tried to keep myself to one expensive medium. I have I've got a cassette that I have no way to play because I pre-ordered a vinyl that only came, like, you could only buy it if you also bought a cassette. And one of the other cool
Mm.
things I brought to show you actually was, I don't collect CDs, but I am very proud to own this CD. It's very shiny right now, but it is Fire by Electric Six, and it's the Japanese only edition, and it comes with 2 extra songs that are not on any other edition. So I don't collect CDs, but I will tell everyone who will listen about this CD.
That's really nice. And of course, Electric Six, one of those bands that just make me laugh, you know. Like when I was younger, I'm like watching these music videos like High Voltage and Gay Bar, and I'm just like, Gay Bar, I'm like going, what the hell is going on? I mean,
I don't know who
they're all
thought, let's
dressed
have
up
a
as,
bunch of Abe Lincolns in the gym running around
yeah,
together very homoerotically, but it works.
and and a hamster.
Yeah.
And all I could think of was South Park when it came to the hamster. But yeah, and then High Voltage, I'm like, you know, I mean, that was a really good video to be honest, because of the paintings they had, and then just the crazy. I mean, I've seen Electric Six live, and Dick Valentine is a genius and a madman.
I am convinced that the man hates me because I've definitely crossed over the line from like normal fan to like too much of a fan, and I've pestered him on many accounts. I've actually it's gonna come out soon-ish, but he very kindly allowed me to do a very quick Q&A over Instagram Messenger. So I've got a Dick
Mm.
Valentine like Q&A interview coming out on the Smooth Selection at some point. But yeah, I've seen Electric Six a couple of times, but I've also seen his solo show in Glasgow, and it was crazy. It was in the background of like a cafe, and he played a cover of Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, and no one went crazy except me and my friend. That's the type of thing you go crazy over. Dick Valentine doing a Dua Lipa cover? Come on.
I'm not surprised. I mean, like I said, he's a genius and a madman. Mm. You also said you have you're studying or doing a PhD. What is that, if you can divulge, if you wish?
Yeah, so I'm doing a PhD at the University of Strathclyde in mass spectrometry, which is analytical chemistry. Just it's a way that I look at like proteins. So the work I'm focused on is sort of like anti-cancer work, but like I don't do any of the stuff that sort of produces like the anti-cancer drugs. I just look at them using mass spectrometry. But yeah, and I'll do that for little money for 4 years, and then that'll be me.
Mm. But is it kind of obviously that's a lot of science and a lot of to take in and understand, and chemistry being a very strong science, I think. So does listening to music help you unwind and get away from all the, you know, heavy thinking and the note taking and everything, or does it sort of help you while you're taking notes, or you know, trying to connect these dots together?
A bit of both. It depends on the kind of music. I found that music either not in English or with no words is good for like working, because I can't get distracted and I can't like sing along or like just think along to the words or whatever.
Hmm.
Whereas like just any sort of music is good for unwinding. I do tend to any day that I like forget my headphones for walking to or from work is just like It's not even a long walk, but it does affect me. If I don't get just my little 10 minutes of like walking with something in my ears, I don't get to fully relax after I leave. And that's what I used to
That's
love
really
about doing the
interesting.
show on a Monday, because Mondays are tough. No one likes a Monday.
No,
So I thought, what a
no.
better day to like. I've just had the weekend. I'm feeling crap because I've just been back at work, and now I can go and do my little musical thing. So it is a shame that I don't really get to do that anymore. Hopefully, it can come back soon.
Yeah, I kind of like to do my shows on Mondays or at least twice a week now. I mean, I try and do Monday because, like I said, I rarely don't do anything on Mondays after I've worked and everything. So I try and keep those as my show slots. Unless I've got, guests twice a week, then I try and do one or after. But I pretty much keep the episodes for mostly Mondays now.
Yeah, I think I really thought, oh, what do I do on a Monday? I don't do anything on a Monday. But the amount of Mondays this year, like since I've started, that I've just had a gig or something, like, why are so many gigs on weeknights now? I think I had like 3 weeks in a row that I had to cancel because I was at gigs.
Mm. I think it's because, weekends are pretty much the busiest, and it depends how they get in the gig. It depends what city is trying to get the band in for a night, and also touring schedules. And also it depends if let's say a band is playing in Edinburgh for the Wednesday, and then they've got to go to a festival in Portugal on the weekend. So I think it's sort of in that traveling concept.
No, definitely. I just have a personal issue when they make me trek over to like Edinburgh on a school night. And I need my bed.
Mm.
I don't function well after standing up all night, singing all night, and then getting no sleep. I need like a day to recover already.
Yeah. I mean, as I've gotten older now, I mean, I do love going when I've gone out somewhere or had like 2 days of fun or on the trot. I'll need one day where I just need to be like, me and my wife just need to, unwind. And uh, one time, I think I was I was working, I'm just plugging in another thing. I work at a new alternative music night called Killing Moon at the local club area, and I'm the ticket guy on the door for that. And it was a very good, profitable, busy night, big draw and everything. But and I did my thing. But the day after, I was so like spent and everything, and I was like, I need to go for a long ass walk away from society in like a forest or somewhere and just unwind. And I did, and that's what helped.
Absolutely too many things in a row just does it for me. I don't understand how people can go to a gig and then this is gonna make me sound so ancient already, but just if people go to a gig and then they go to like an after party and there's this rock or I guess goth rock club I don't know called Cat House in Glasgow, and they always do after parties after like all the big gigs. And I just think I'm too old for that. After a gig, I want to go home and have a cup of tea and lie down, and that's it. And just sort of like decompress and think about, oh, that was the best thing ever.
Yeah. But also countering that, it also depends on mood. I mean, if you had a great time at the gig and you're pumped and you want to go for a drink or just, listen to, still feel the pumpness and the adrenaline, go to the after party, but don't be like too late getting back. I mean, I've done that, but also after gigs, I've sometimes gone home, had a cup of tea, a sandwich, and just to bed. And it's great.
It is great. Now, earlier you mentioned that you'd went to a gig in Newport. Are you a fan of Skindred, perchance?
I am, and I think Benji is an absolute legend. I have recently saw Skindred last year when they were touring with Volbeat and Napalm Death, and Benji, as always, was an absolute seller and hilarious as well. But yeah, I love Skindred. Benji, he does some DJing after as well, but yeah, I love Skindred, especially when I listen to Pressure, the way he uses his, region his roots to, really vocalize on pressure. Sorry, to do the Jamaican accent out there, viewers, but yeah, I do like Skindred. I mean, one of the best bands that come from Wales as well. And to be honest, I'm going to get very graphical here. I found Skindred. What's the word called when, for example, you've broken up with someone and then you've got with someone quite instantly. It begins with an R, but I can't think. Rebound. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. I found Skindred quite rebounding because this is the graphic. When I was a teenager, obviously from Wales and into rock music. Well, I'm into any music, but into the rock alternative scene, I was really big on Lost Prophets. They were a big band for me. I loved them. They came from they came from Wales, and they were on MTV, Kerrang. They were doing all these awesome music videos and everything, and I just loved them. Had their CDs. I was a proud owner of Liberation Transmission, and then obviously the controversy and the bad news came out about Ian Watkins, you scumbag, and I just felt quite lost because they were a very awesome band I loved and everything. And then obviously there's other Welsh bands. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like Stereophonics, Tom Jones, and Bullet for My Valentine as well. But I needed to feel that connection again. And lucky enough, when Skindred came around, and then I found out they were from Newport, and they were heavier, louder, but they also had this aesthetic to it. So I found them quite rebounding. So yeah, they're very good to me, and I do like hearing them on a club night.
Well, I thought this is the perfect chance to plug something that I'm also doing now. So that I mentioned the interview with Dick Valentine. I've already managed to post an interview with Benji Webb, who was very nice to let me just ask him questions, and he was sending me replies. He sent me them as voice notes on the day that he's performing Download that night. So I'm asking him, so when's the first Newport helicopter? And he's sending me a voice note telling me the story of the first Newport helicopter. And yeah, that was so exciting. And that was just something that came to me, and just a random day I thought, let's start doing interviews. And I thought, who can I reach out to? What can I possibly do? And I thought, who's attainable? Who is aware of me already? Because that's a small collection of people. But I'd done a review of a
We'll start somewhere.
And he'd commented saying best review ever. So I thought, he's aware, he's aware of the Smooth Selection. So I just messaged him and I was like, would you be willing to do just a really short Q&A over messages? And he was just like, yeah, of course, let's go for it. And yeah, that was very exciting. And I majorly regret not going to see Skindred in Volbeat. I think there was a reason why I couldn't see them. I have seen Skindred perform, but yeah, I really wanted to go see them again. I'll need to catch them next time they're coming round, especially now that I'm just a mega fangirl, because I can't believe they took the time to do that to someone who has under 100 followers and it's not going to do anything for him at all. I just really, really appreciate that.
I disagree with that. What you've given him, you've given yourself publicity, and you gave him publicity as well. So it's a double deal. But also, Benji is someone that understands how important, people are if they want to interview, especially if they want to interview or plug themselves there, because, he came from humble beginnings as well. He wasn't going to be a painter and decorator in Newport, so he just thought, this is where I've got to go, music. And, he's just a working class man from Newport, and he still keeps his boots to the ground. He has a fucking great time living this awesome life, but he still keeps himself humble and grounded. And by giving you a chance to answer your questions on your show, it just shows how much of a awesome person he is, because he's willing to give people that chance. I mean, if you're a fucking asshole, then fuck off, absolutely. But, if you're just a real genuine, I think people give you a chance. And Benji is a fine example. I mean, I hope to have him on this show one day, and we just talk about the Newport Helicopter albums, Skindred, and of course his other project as well. But, one can only hope. But at least you did it, and that's something.
All I'm going to say is shoot him a message, because that's all I did, was just shoot him a message. And again, worst he can say is no. That's what I kept telling myself when I was like, right, just message him, just message him. And I thought, no, it's going to be so embarrassing when he says no. But no, it's not. Like, if he says no, he says no. It's no big deal.
No, but if he says no because he's probably busy or he's just, I gladly accept that as well. I'm not going to lose any sleep over that as well. So I will be satisfied either way. He's not interested, fair enough. If he is, it's just going to go like any other interview I've had. I mean, I've had so many bands on the show, known or just getting out there and everything, bands. I mean, to have Rachel Stamp on the show, I recommend them really. Things to have Rachel Stamp on the show, who have been around since like the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, they were that was a really good interview at the time I did with them, and obviously other bands I've had like Grey Wall and Ward 16 and Incursion, and of course Vanity. Yes, so many, it's just trying to name them at the top of your head as well while I'm saying. So, I've been very lucky to have these people say yes and give me an hour or 45 minutes of their time, and I'm just grateful for it. And also to the non-musical people as well.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna sound very uncool when I say this, but I was trying to do some research for this podcast. I'd listened to you a couple of times, but I thought a lot of the time I'd watch like whatever I could catch live, just for like 15 minutes, and then that. So I thought, right,
That's fine.
I thought I'm gonna have to do some. I need to do some research before coming on. I need to see what how these
Oh, you
things
didn't
go.
have to.
And
I
it
mean,
was but I really enjoyed watching ones with just like people from like the alternative markets and stuff like that, and just listening to people that I would never hear normally because I would never have stumbled across them probably. Yeah, especially someone from like just a small town doing their own thing in their bubble. So no, it's really interesting, and I do like that you talk to people that aren't just like musical, that are just like alternative, or
no.
it's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, if you miss any episodes, or you can only catch them in, they're all available on the page. So, they're all available to watch and everything. And even if you're just watching 5 minutes or you just want to skip to this bit or this bit, and I have no problem because not everyone's going to catch my live episodes, but if they want to, watch them or see them again, they're all exclusively only on this page and everything. And yeah, I mean, the thing of this thing. It's the interview of many people of many areas and many things. So, I'm not just interviewing musicians. I'm not just interviewing artists. I've had photographers on the show. I've had, collectors on the show. I've had, dress designer Sam Booker on the show from the wedding dress shop and everything. I've had so many. I've done almost over 50 episodes now. That's a lot, and I only just got the ball rolling in 2021. But upcoming guests I've got, not just people in the entertainment industry. I'm going to be doing more topic episodes as well, because sometimes I do episodes about topics rather than, so I have some guests coming back or new guests on to talk about topics, and these topics can be completely random. Like the next couple of ones I've got, one of them I want to talk about is martial arts, and why is it such a, and I know people who have got like black belts or orange, and they come on the show and talk about that. But so that's what I'm pretty much doing for the next couple of episodes. But like I said, I'll interview someone that probably makes furniture as well. At the end of the day, no one is below my limit on this show. I mean, the idea is if you're trying to plug yourself out there and you need a platform, I will have you on the show. But also, if I want to, and also I want to have you on the show, but also like if people want to message me, can we come on the show? And I'll go like, sure, what do you do? And let's talk about it in the episode. But like I said, I have anybody, and sometimes there can be episodes like this live where you're on your side of the world, I'm on my side of the world, or when I do my sometimes short or over 10-minute one-on-one, face-to-face ones as well. But yeah, I like broadcasting. I like doing this podcast. I never thought it'd be something I do. Sometimes the things you never expected to do turn out to be one of the best things that's probably ever happened to you. And to do this show and to plug people in and to give them I mean, they've already got probably platforms and everything, but to give, current people and new people a platform to come on the show, that's self-satisfaction to me. It's great. I really like it.
No, much along the same lines. That's one of the main reasons why I missed doing my actual live show. Also, very sorry about the sounds of Glasgow right now. I don't know if you can hear all those sirens.
I can't
That's just what it's
hear anything. I can just hear you.
No problem. I can hear about there's something going on outside, but something I really miss about having the live show was being able to do things that weren't really musical. I like to sort of keep the Instagram really focused on just music and gigs and stuff. But when I did the show, I would just have any guest on. I say that as if it wasn't just my friend Emma most of the time, when we would just talk about stuff and we'd play games between songs. But I had some girls on from my uni who they were going for BAME Rep, which is Black, Asian and minority ethnicity reps at the uni. So it was just the student elections and stuff. So I had them on and asked if they wanted to have a bit of an interview, pitch themselves, just go for why should you vote for me? And it was nice to have that sort of thing on. Again, before I started this show, I wouldn't have thought that I'd have anything to do with the student elections, but there sort of just giving some people a platform, not a huge platform, but they still got to talk to a platform nonetheless. Yeah, it's quite exciting, and I do hope to do stuff like that again.
Yeah, and like I said, topic episodes are always good as well. So even if you do have your friend on, it doesn't have, with topic episodes, it doesn't have to be, it could be someone you know personally or thing, and you have them on the show and talk about. So that's why topic episodes are pretty good as well. But it's great to have guests I've already had on the show come back for topic, or be on and everything. So I definitely recommend doing topic episodes.
I enjoyed sometimes, totally just to blow off steam. Me and my friend would go on and we would crochet during the show, and we would give live updates. Obviously you can't see because ours was just a radio show, but we'd just give updates to here's how far along I've got with my crochet tonight, guys. And it just was a bit of a sort of silly little follow along. A lot of the time I would post things on this Instagram story while I was on live on air, so I could sort of give a visual to what was going on behind the scenes. And yeah, that just sort of stuff was fun too. I actually met one of my friend's boyfriends for the first time on the show. That was also very interesting. I don't recommend it as a way to meet someone for the first time. It's always going to be a bit awkward meeting someone and then forcing them to be on a radio show. They might not like that too much, but it was fun nonetheless. And I don't think he hates me, so it worked out in the end.
And that's pretty much worked out. I mean, who would hate you?
Who could hate me?
Yeah, who could hate you?
No,
so for those who, oh, sorry.
No, please go. I'll have some more.
Oh, usually, I know it's like to grab a drink. I mean, it's really hot weather, so I can understand, and it's a lot of talking as well.
I know.
But
I'll stop. I was gonna just start randomly talking about the records I have sitting beside me, but if you have an actual direction you want this to go, that may be better.
No, please continue.
Okay, so I was gonna say, I bought through some of the recent records that I've bought, and I was just gonna see if you'd, heard of them. As someone who said that you're not just a metal enjoyer, you're an everything enjoyer. I thought,
yes,
if you haven't heard some of these, I would like to recommend them to you. Okay, have you heard this record? This is Pang by Caroline Polachek.
I have not.
Have you heard of anything by Caroline Polachek?
I have not. Sorry.
Well, I bought Pang because it's the only one of her records that exists as a vinyl. I do very much enjoy it, and it has one of my favourite songs of all time on it. It's called So Hot You're Hurting My Feelings. I recommend that as a starting place for Caroline Polachek. But one of the first-ish reviews that I done was on her newest album called Desire, I Want to Turn Into You. Just Google her name. Her album names are a bit weird, but if you Google her name, you'll find it. I think that it's one of the best albums I've ever heard, ever. And I think that it's coming out on vinyl in like August or something, so I'm trying to financially prepare for that. But yes, highly, highly recommend her. One of the records that I just enjoy having, I was going to say it was got for me by my parents. No, I got it sent to my parents' house because I wanted to make sure someone would be in to receive it, and that is Midnights by Taylor Swift. I have a very beautiful jade vinyl. I think this is probably my like prettiest looking record, which is why I brought this one through.
I have heard of Taylor Swift and I have listened to some of her stuff, but not heard that one. Or I'll probably hear a song from it and then I'll go, "Oh, it's that I've heard on the radio." But you know, you know, she's a very talented singer.
I know I definitely struggled a lot growing up with the trying to not be like other girls. So I did a lot of avoiding, you know, good music because I thought that that's what girly girls like. So I would try like not listening to Taylor Swift. I would try not listening to just stuff like that until one day you finally just decide, you know what? There's a reason that other girls are like other girls, and that's because girls are great. And we should all listen to Taylor Swift and have a nice time together and enjoy the color pink and like paint our nails, and that's fine. So you can like
Yeah, it's fine. At the end of the day, you shouldn't have this tribalism in music. If you only like one particular, I mean, scenes, music shouldn't really affect scenes. I mean, scenes are a bonus because of the music, whether it's the punk scene or the pop scene or the hip hop scene, and people like to dress similar to that scene or mix it up to that scene. I mean, so the music is merely bonus in the scene culture. But if you want to listen to, but even if you want to wear black and you're painting nails and everything, and you probably want to listen to some Aqua, you know, on your headphones. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Or, you know, you're in very colourful clothing, very lovely flowy dress or jacket and everything, and you're probably listening to the most Cookie Monster music that you can't understand how fast and aggressive. But you know, your appearance shouldn't define your taste, and also that too. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, self-enjoyment should be more important than what the scene thinks or what things think. If someone says to you, "Why are you listening to that crap?" Because you want to listen to it, because you want to. And if someone goes, "Well, that's a shit record," well, that's their opinion. I mean, if you're listening to it and you're like, "Okay, I don't like that track, but I do like this one," or is this is a little overplayed and maybe something else. At the end of the day, the thing about, especially even listening to music on your phone now, you can skip. You know that's the magic of internet and I don't know, technology now. Especially with Spotify and everything. I mean, I get it. Not everyone likes Spotify, but you know, if you want to listen to stuff on YouTube or Spotify, you're in this mood or that mood. At the end of the day, it should be self-satisfaction and mood, and not scenes and everything. So whatever record. In fact, a thing I recommend you should watch on YouTube, I'm sure you're already familiar with it, is called What's My Bag. And they've had anybody on there, actors, musicians, composers, comedians, activists, and they go to a particular record shop and they pick out their favorite records or movies, and and some of the people like, there's this one, it's gone viral. They had Seal on there, and Seal picked an Alice in Chains vinyl album, and people go, "Oh, I didn't expect Seal to listen. He would listen to that stuff." But that's the idea. Expect the unexpected. You know, don't judge someone because who they are and what they might listen to. So I recommend listening to that on YouTube. But at the end of the day, it's personal preference, and self-satisfaction is more important than what others think.
No, 100%. I think the majority of my wardrobe is secondhand t-shirts from my dad. So they're all like Rammstein or Guns N' Roses, or this is a Papa Roach one, again, just from my dad. So my whole wardrobe is very like full black, full like, metal bands of some kind. But
Mm.
yeah, some days I just want to walk into uni and listen to Charlie XCX, and that's okay.
Well, that's fine. My wardrobe, I mean, you've probably seen all the episodes, and I've got a vast array collection of t-shirts and everything. But, like some days I could just wear a t-shirt and trousers and a hat or no hat and everything. Other days I could be probably wearing a flannel shirt. I could look the grungiest, I could look the gothiest, I could look, the laziest and everything. But at the end of the day, personal style is preference, and it shouldn't, like I said, define your choice and everything. But yeah, I mean, what I'm wearing now, I've got like a Pac-Man Street Fighter spoof shirt on. You know, I could be people probably thinking, oh, he's probably listening to video game scores in his headphones, and no, I could be listening to, GoldenEye by Tina Turner or something. Or at the end of the day, it's preference. I mean, I've had metal T-shirts on, and I could be listening to, rap music. It's just about mood. I mean, there's a lot of songs I like, and there's a lot of songs I love, And I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that one in a while, or, oh, this is good, but just not for today. I mean, that's the beauty of music. It's preference. Music is food for your ears. I mean, if you're in the mood to have a tuna sandwich this day, but then you're like, no, I don't fancy a tuna sandwich. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, music is food for your ears, and it comes in all varieties and all delicacies.
Well, I actually bought a record the other day out of spite. I bought Wet Leg's debut album because I do quite like Wet Leg, but I had to actually listen to the full album, and I heard a couple of guys, just like we lads, just being like, "Oh, you don't like Wet Leg, do you? You don't like Wet Leg," to like each other, just oh crap, crap. I'm like, why? You don't know if they're crap. You don't know if they're crap. I know for a fact you're just saying this because you think that you think that they're crap from nothing. So I just sort of walked over and picked it up and was like, oh, I'll take that. I feel just bought it out of spite. So I'm down money and they don't care. But now I have a new record and it's fine. And I've actually spent the day just sort of like listening to it on Spotify just because I don't have my record player with me at work. What a beautiful life that would be if I could just sit and spin records all day. But no, I found a good way to find new music is to think of stuff that either people don't like or I think I wouldn't like and just give it a go. And a lot of the time, even if I don't like it all, I like some of it. Or just
Yeah, I mean, there's even bands I don't like, but or artists I don't like, but I like that particular song, and that's okay as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about preference, really. For those who probably just tuned in or thing, when the show does come back on, obviously they can find you on this page and everything, and all they have to do is follow. But do you have any other platforms, or is it just Instagram for now?
just Instagram. I think to try and keep it as low stress and effort, I just sort of keep it to the one platform. I know you can do things where you like just click post and it'll go to Facebook too, but I can't be bothered. So just on Instagram.
Mm. Well, I've got to say, it's been absolute fun having you on the show, and thanks for being on here and everything. Definitely have you back on the future, and hopefully your show gets back on the radio and on the website soon, and I can tune into that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for having me on. And if I ever do finally get back on the air again, I'm sure I could find some way to do some sort of, collab the other way.
Oh, I'm down for that. When it happens, I'm down. So put me on your list.
Will do.
All right. But for now, you take care and best of luck with the smooth selection.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Good night.